Come. Yeah. Hi. 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 Starting with something you know, nice and easy. Something we started with yesterday. Nice and easy. Nice. Oh my God, Kitty. Stay. Nice. What the? Good. Stay. Nice. This is really the foundation. Good boy. Wow. Nice job, Jackie. Good boy. Break. Woo! Yes, that's it, Jackson. That's it, Jackson. That's it. That's the one. Okay. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? Oh, yes. Place. This is our first rep. Ooh, come on now. Come on now. That's right. Hey, place. I know. Come on. Come on. Jackson, place. Come on. Come on, Jackson, place right here. Come on, guys. Come here, guys. Yeah, I know he is. Come on. Come on, Jackson. Come here, Mama. Come here, good boy. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Right here. Come here. Come on, Jackson. Right here. Come on. Come on. There you go. I know. Kids are good. Wow. So that's rep 1. So this is what's interesting about this. Bear with me here. Because I like the way we used to do it is we would lead them on every time. But this way, they're able to make all the mistakes in rep 1, rep 2. You know, by the time we get to a few reps in, it's right to that they get it. I'm allowing him to explore and just encouraging. Come on, come here, come here. The number gets higher as he stops trying to solve the problem, and it hums at a number that he feels but isn't uncomfortable when he's trying to solve the problem. So there's a little bit of that going on. If he goes against it and is like, I'm out of here, he'll get a correction a little higher with a recall to get him back in the conversation. And we just keep going. Good. And then when he gets on here, as soon as he gets on, the pressure turns off and the praise starts. So I got on the bed this time. I don't always do that, but I figured out to make it clear as possible. Stay. Very good job, Jackson. Break. Woo! Good boy, Jackson! Good job! That's right. Wow. And so he takes his time, the time he needs, and the amount of attention from me as he needs to solve the problem. Give it a break, and then try it again and see what he learned. See how much he got out of the way by making all those mistakes and trying to go away from it and trying to sit next to it. Eventually those all fade off as he continues to try them and they don't work. This also gets the stress down for him, okay? Because he tries all the things. He doesn't think about the things because he's already been there and done that. Okay, let's try it again. Place. So he knows, you can tell, good boy. Okay, so you see all the mistakes, there was like 40 mistakes and then he just made like a little mistake and then got on, right? So, because we let him explore all the options. Because we had that recall, so if he runs away, we just correct and recall, get him back in the conversation. Come on, get on place, right? He gets on here, nice work. So it's very clear because the pressure turns off only when he gets on there. Nice work. Wow, that was a big deal. Break.
Woo!
Yes, and see how much quicker he releases that time. Yeah.
What a good dog.
What's cool about this is we'll take this session and we'll do all these important little things for his learning.
He's proud.
Yes, and he's going to sit there and proud. And then what we'll do is we're going to break it up a little bit. I'll do a few more things with him, but then when I put him away, he can sleep on it. And I won't bring this conversation up again until tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'll bring it out again and do some of the things we did the day before to refresh his brain. And it starts with something easy because he did it the day before. You see the progress, and then you see confidence get built, and then you add something new on. And we kind of do that every day for the first week to get us the skills that we're going to need to start doing some of the real proofing and the real, out there, outside the training room stuff, okay, out in the world. This is good. Okay, let's keep going while we're good. I'm going to set this aside, okay, because I feel like there was a lesson learned there. I could continue to do the reps, but I'm going to mix it up on them. I'm going to keep it fresh, okay?
Who is it?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Hey. No. Out. So another thing to learn, right? Yeah. And so when I'm talking to somebody out here, because he thinks I am, it's social. Just like what we did yesterday with Julie when she came into the room and I told him to out the situation, to leave the situation. He's standing back there allowing me to deal with it. That's what's beautiful about the out, because I can correct him for coming up on it, tell him to go away. I don't necessarily have to I'm not telling him to go to place or anything right now, because I want him to make all the mistakes, right? Get it out of the system, learn all about it. But being back there and watching passively, he gets a good boy. That'll turn into a sit or a down or a place later. It's more about him understanding his role, okay? All right, thank you. All right, appreciate it. Bye. And then wait, pause, look. Good boy. Break. Good. And now he can close the gap and come over to me and see what's going on. Then he can smell me and be like, oh, I smell that person on you or whatever. There you go. And that's his role in the pack when it comes to people, dogs, new things that he's concerned about. He'll learn that's the dynamic, that's the mode to go into, which is a follower. So he's following my direction, right? And I'm leading, and that's the dynamic. Good. And these are just little setups that we do to teach him the mechanics of how me and him as a unit are going to be operating through the training with the recall and the stays and the understanding that when I tell you to stay, that you don't get up until you're told otherwise, that kind of stuff, right? Because a lot of dogs think that if you say sit, they sit, then they hop back up, right? It's useless. So if we say a command, the dog continues to do the command until they're released or given another command, okay? So he's learning that too. So the first week, it's really just chock full of teaching him how to operate as a follower under my leadership using the ecollar, okay? Good, and we're taking this pace where, we challenge him, but it's nothing that he can't, we're not challenging him to the point where he can't figure it out. Challenge him just enough where he has to use his brain and really try to figure the puzzle out. He gets it, good, put it away. The next day, repeat it, he gets it, good, add something new. The next day, bring back, do the first thing and then the second thing, and I kind of do it like that for dogs who really need me to break it down. Okay, some dogs come in here and you don't have to break it down all that much because they've had training and they know all that. They need different stuff, but this is how I like to approach the commands. Also, it gives the commands an association, right? The way you teach it is the way the dog feels about it. So I'm teaching, place, and I'm teaching all these commands through context where the dog understands that it's not a, what am I trying to say here? The state of mind is calm and submissive. It's not fun and playful when it comes to the commands, okay? Because they're meant to be used to keep the dog managed. So when we use the commands, and I use a situation like this to start teaching the dog how to feel about it, you see a dog goes to place calm and relaxed and passive. They're watching me and seeing how I deal with it, versus teaching them these commands where it's a party, right? It's like, go on the place and then let's play tug, or go on the place and here's some food, and all this stuff. It makes the dog really excited to go on the place, and really excited to go into the down, and real excited to go into the heel, and real excited. Real excited, right? Their association is kind of amped up. So then when we go to use it in the real world, how we train them to feel about it, it's how they're going to feel about it. I mean, it's not serious and like it's a game. Somebody knocks on the door and you start saying place, you're going to see there's not a level of seriousness associated with those commands to get the dog to actually take it serious and go over and lay down, right? So that's why we take the approach we do. It's called real world dog training. A lot of people call it that. It's been named that by a lot of different trainers. And it's because you're using real world scenarios to teach a dog how to behave. And a lot of it is having a dog to realize that they just need to be calm, passive, and take direction from the human. Rather than what they do naturally, a lot of dogs do naturally, is they try to interact with the thing and take charge and all that. So it's flipping that on the dog and teaching them how to follow. So I hope that helps understand why we're not using a whole lot of games with him right now to teach this. We're not using lures for food or anything, because I want the part of the brain, I don't want the I'm hungry part of the brain, or I want to play part of the brain. I want this is a serious situation, somebody's at the door part of the brain, what do I do? Because this dog barks at who comes to, that's where he's going to go. He's going to go into a serious state, and I want to train him while he's in that state. I want to trigger him to that state if it's in there, so I can deal with it and teach him, don't go into that place, be calm, be passive, you'll be okay, right? And he's doing great. You see, he understands. He understands it all, and I didn't have to sit here and explain it to him like that, right? So I had to show him. Here. Go. See how I move him? For the forward motion, right? Okay. You see the trigger, just the nose goes to the door, gets him like this and starts moving forward. He doesn't even realize he's doing it. I'm correcting to bring attention to that. Say, hey, you heard that and you didn't even think and you just started going towards it. So I snapped him out of that, right? I corrected him and said, hey, watch yourself. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's right. Right? Okay?
What is it?
Good. Okay. Jackson. Break. Nice work, Jackson. Good job. You did amazing.
Put your lights on in your back pocket.
Is it? Well, that's not good.
You were glowing.
So, another place rep, but different stack beds. It's a little higher. Jackson. Place. And no pressure yet, okay? Place. And now pressure. Okay, good. Good boy. You're doing amazing. He said, I'm out of here. He said, I don't. Okay, so what I'm reading from him is he knows exactly what I'm saying, right? When I pointed over there, he knew from the first rep, too, the sloppy rep, he knew that I was telling him to go in there. He knew when I was telling him to go in there. A lot of dogs know when you point a finger. Some dogs, you gotta lead them with a leash and stuff. He knows, so I took that opportunity to say place, and he hears me say it. He looks at me, he hears me, he sniffs the bed. No correction, nothing on the ecollar. I say place again, he sniffs the bed again, and then I wait, and I see him start to walk away. Ecollar pressure turns on, he's like, oh shit, how do I turn that off? Oh yeah, that's right. On here, it turns off. Good boy. Those are those micro conversations so that I'm adjusting his attitude. As soon as his brain switches to, I'm not doing this, they go boom, this turns on. You know, it's like we're cutting him off from going to accessing that part of his brain where it's like, I'm gonna be independent, and you know, we're disagreeing with it. And what it does is it makes your words powerful, so eventually I don't have to do all this. Eventually I can just say, place, and he just gets on there, right? Good boy, and that's just our existence now. But that could take a couple weeks, because this is all new to him, right? Okay. To really be solid in our relationship, it could take a couple weeks. It looks nice now, but we have to work through it, you know? This is day 2. Good boy. I want to teach him that too. That's nice. That's nice. So he knows I'm relevant. That's beautiful. He's really becoming operant to the system. Okay? Good boy, that was awesome. That's it. So a little correction there, you see, just to keep him in that recall and not drift his attention somewhere. Okay. Good. Sniffing me, taking my scent, he started to come around. Just, oh, I see how this works. Okay. no one's ever controlled my movements like this before. You know, this is new to me. So he's changing. He's starting to change. Good boy. I see a good companion in there, and I see a lot less stress. He's going to be a lot less stressed if he doesn't, if somebody, let me make it blunt. If he tries to lead, if you disagree with that and correct him, that tells him don't lead. And leading for him is a poison in the human world. It's too confusing. He doesn't get it. So if you take that responsibility off from his chest, I wish I could do it by saying, hey buddy, you don't have to lead anymore. I'm going to take care of everything. But that he's not going to understand if I say that to him. So I have to show him that and break down the certain conversations where the hot topic, you know, the hot ticket items, like a knock at the door, walking by other dogs, strangers coming in, you know, squirrels, things, resources. I put him in these situations where he's going to try to lead and going to try to just react how he's going to react, and then I disagree with it. I literally correct him and say, no, I don't like that. I want to be able to choose. You stay over there. That's cutting him off from trying to lead, which means if he truly sees you as a leader and understands that he's not supposed to be reactive, he's supposed to be passive and allow you to decide how to deal with things or not deal with things. Once he puts himself in that mind, that's what we call a follower, his choices all change. He doesn't feel the need to lash out on a leash or anything, okay? One, he knows that I don't like it and then I'll correct it. But two, after that, he starts to learn it's a lot more comfortable just to follow this guy, all right? And as he starts to live like that more, that'll become his reality. Just ignoring things and realizing that ignoring the scary things, because I realize he is nervous, you don't have to react to them to keep them away, right? He thinks he has to react to these scary things so that he can keep them at a distance, because he has the mentality of kind of like strike first before they strike you, but he's going to learn that all these things you think are going to hurt you aren't. That guy walking by is not, that truck's not, that these dogs aren't. And so he gets to learn that the world's actually safe under our leadership, okay? And he'll feel comfortable in the commands, okay? And actually find safety in the commands. If you get scared on the walk, you can see a dog come find you, get a pat on the head because they know they're safe right there, okay? This is good. Stay. Okay. Break.
Yeah,
Nice.
Jackson.
This is like the foundation. This is very, it can be difficult for dogs to learn this, but once they get it, everything becomes easy for them to learn. Okay? Good. Good job. We have a few steps to do on the recall, eventually, to turn that recall into a heel, so a follow, you know. That's a game changer. Okay. Let me grab something. I'm gonna do a little bit more. I need to explain to him that when I put you on place, that you can't get off. The rules are you don't get off until you're released. And the way that we're gonna do that is I'm gonna eventually put him on place here, and I'm gonna make the environment stimulating. Use toys, possibly the other dogs. He's more than likely gonna wanna get off. I'm gonna allow him to get off and make that mistake so that I can correct him, so that now he's learned that that's a rule. That's an experience that he needs to understand that when you're put on place, you don't just hop off. That's super awesome for management, because if he's on place, he can't be bothering anything. He can't be bothering the people that you have in your house. He can't be going up to the windows and barking out the windows, or he can't be doing anything bad if he's on place. So we need to give him that experience. Okay, and just like the kennel, he eventually needs to learn that, you know, once he learns place, we always take a session to leave the room and let the dog feel like they're alone. You watch them get off the bed, and then we're watching them. They just don't know we are, either up through the stairs or on camera. They get back on the bed, it turns off, and that's another experience that they understand that it's not just when the owner's in the room that this thing works. It works when they're not in the room too. Again, changing the dog's beliefs changes their behavior or choices. Okay, so that's what I find is working for me. Good boy. Now, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put him on the bed and I'm gonna come let some dogs in that door. And a lot of dogs, they fall for it. They get right off the command, okay? Jackson, good boy. Place. Okay, there's no pressure there, and that was a beautiful one. Good boy. Good boy, you stay. Stay. Very nice. He knows, he seems to understand what I'm saying when I say stay, so that's useful. I'm gonna go grab the dog. If he gets off and I don't see him, just say no, so I can hear you. It is 9. Good girl. It is. You see it turn on, he's going through it. Place. Good. It is. Hi, darling. Hi. And so he had that experience, right? That's what it's all about. That was 1. I was at a 16, so he definitely felt that I watched his neck go like this, and then he kind of came out here, but he was able to think through it. He got on, he got his experience. Good boy. Hi. But we're gonna keep going, like put a little more pressure on, get the dog closer. Use a squeaky toy. Oh my God. And there you go. No. Place. Stay. Oh, yeah. Good. Give him a rep where he sees like you like that he's staying. Good. And so this is just introducing the concept to him, right? He understands that the ecollar push is going to turn on until he gets back on the bed. Cool. Now he needs to learn that he can be allowed off when I say break too. Okay? And we're not done after this. We need to proof it really heavy. But before I proof it really heavy, meaning he gets very firm corrections for stepping off, I want him to understand how to remedy his mistake, have experience with the rule and how to remedy it when he makes a mistake. You need to get back on the bed. Then once he has that, then we'll add in some type of setup where it's justified to go heavy on a correction because maybe we have a guest or more dogs or something and he makes a big mistake, like getting off the bed hot and heavy. He gets a firmer correction, gets back on the bed. Okay, now I'm not going to mess with the boundary. Okay, but I want to teach you the boundary before we do that one. Okay? Jackson. Break.
Woo,
Good boy.
Yeah, Jackson.
Break.
Good job.
That's it. Good. Break. Come on. Good. Break. And then I just use this. Just for a rep or two if you get stuck. Good boy. Nice work. Okay, so he's learning that it's me. When I say break, you can come off and, there's no more lava on the floor, So that's what a rep can look like. They can do this just while they're learning it. But once they get it, you get a week down the road, they get it. All the dogs understand it. All that's gone. Zip, zoom, the drills look nice and smooth. Good. Good. I like where you're going. So he's offered this really nice state. He's going in when we're training. Calm, taking direction, right? This is a state that I'm imagining is exhausting for him because I don't think he practices it very often. So they actually get really tired after a session like this. I can run a dog through some stuff for like 30, 40 minutes, and they need hours to like go nap afterwards because it's just they've never had somebody or something give them direction like that over and over and over again. It's exhausting. But once they learn how to listen and they learn how to become a follower, then it becomes easy, and they're not fighting it, and it's not exhausting anymore. Okay? This is good. I'm gonna try something different. Jackson. Down. Ooh, that one's different. Do I know that one? And I will go a little click on here, just a little click. See, good. Down. I usually flip up the placements when I do that so that the options are gone. Good. So I did it without giving him the hand signal at first, just so to stretch his brain a little bit, to like, is it in your vocabulary anywhere? You're a year and a half old, and I think it is. But then when I go and use the hand gesture, that's giving him the answer, right, if he knows it. Good boy. Very nice. Amazing.
I really like his attitude.
His attitude has been very good. If we did it the right way, though, where we did it for effort, not if you got the answer right? So if I'm asking you to sit and you're not getting it right, which I don't know how you can get it wrong, but some do. If you're trying, there's no punishment. It's the attitude that gets punished, because to be honest with you, these commands are so easy for a dog to learn if they're trying. If they're looking at you and saying, hey, what do you want? And they're actually trying to listen to you. Sit, down, place, heel, recall. Easy to learn, right? Good, I love it. Jackson. Break.
Yeah,
Yes, you
Jackson.
did. Yes, you did.
What a
And so
good
tomorrow
boy.
we do the same type of situation, because you see there's some sticky moments where he's unsure. As we just repeat the same scenario until it's easy. The mechanics are there. Once the mechanics are there, we gotta get out of the training room and we gotta start getting to the real world with good setups that proof him appropriately, and then also real world stuff. Okay? Leave the boy alone. Good girl. So, this is pretty much what I'm doing with him today, other than potty breaks. Potty breaks are we're always going to keep that waiting at the threshold, recalling to the sit position, and then out the door, recalling into the sit position, and then place into the kennel. That's going on in the background as well. This is his big one today. We will do a social with him eventually. I'm not sure if that's going to be today or tomorrow, but he's about ready for a social. He's been acting appropriate. He's got some hiccups though. He gets tense out there and stuff sometimes, so he needs a social, needs to be socialized more. So that's going to be going on too in the background. And then eventually we're going to be moving this thing to outside the fence.